Exploragonians. Wow, you went really low there. That's nice.
Exploragonians. Yeah, go.
Exploragonians.
Oh, I guess I could have like kept the beat
No,
going.
there's absolutely no. You're dancing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a go.
Do you want that to go?
It's a go.
Okay, I had a very Abbott and Costello, like, who's on first moment when I worked at a pizzeria in our hometown. And it was a coworker of my mom's, but she would call in a pizza. And usually when you call in a pizza, you want it to go, so you come pick it up. Anyway, this lady called, and her, which I didn't know at the time, her catchphrase was to say, "It's a go," which is kind of nonsense.
I'm going to say it all the time now. This is the second time I've heard this story in like 24 hours.
Perfect.
FYI.
So yeah, she would call, order a pizza, not to go. She would order it to have in the restaurant. And so she'd be like, okay, and I want to eat it there. And I was like, okay, well, perfect. Is that everything? And she would say, "It's a go." And I'd be like, wait, you want it to go? And she'd be like, no. And so then I would have to go, wait, you're going to have it for here, right? Yes. And then she would say,
It's a go.
and I'd say, wait, what? And so I think she was kind of salty when she came in to get her pizza, which was in a box. And she's like, "I'm supposed to have it for here." And I was like, "Oh, you want it for here? It's a go."
You know what? Was a good lesson for you to be flexible
What?
and how different people communicate.
That wasn't the worst experience I ever had at that pizzeria. The worst one was we did a birthday package. So you got 2 pitchers of non-refillable soda. You got 2 pizzas.
Wow.
A bunch of balloons for $45.
How many balloons? How many is a bunch?
I don't know, like 7?
Wow.
But we had a big helium tank, and so I would go and like blow up all the balloons. And then I would only ingest a small amount of it. So
This that'll be $45.
this family came, and they were like refilling the soda, and I was like, "Oh, sorry guys, but the policy is, you only get, the 1 pitcher."
You love enforcing the rules.
I am lawful good. I'm a paladin. So this woman was not having it, and so she glared at me and just kept pressing the button to fill the soda. And I was like, ma'am.
Oh my god.
And then they went back up, did their thing, and then they tried refilling it again. And so again, I was like, "Sorry, ma'am, it's non-refillable pitchers of soda." And that really just, I guess I was antagonizing them, not unintentionally. But then when they left, like one of the sons whose like child or niece was having the birthday party, he's like, "Hey, what time do you get off work tonight?" And I was like, "I get off work at..." "Wait a second." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be waiting in the parking lot for you." And I was like, just because I said you can't refill the soda, it was in the policy. So I was pretty sure that guy was gonna be waiting for me in the parking lot when I got off work.
Okay, see, I thought our incident with the butchers in town, I thought that was an isolated incident, but obviously you've been threatened before.
I apparently just
All
have...
right.
I just egg people on or something. So when they left, and I was like, "Am I gonna get beat up tonight?" They had taken like pieces of cake and smeared it on every single table in like the birthday area. And so everything was covered in store-bought chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Like 15 tables. I was like, why?
But cake that they brought.
Yeah. I didn't provide the cake.
We
We were just a pizzeria. They were pizza pies, not pizza cakes.
Okay. But reflecting on this memory, do you feel like...
I just should have let the soda go.
Because one, soda is gross.
Yeah, well, I was trying to help
and it's
them.
cheap. And yeah, I mean, their perspective, I'm sure, was like, hey, we just shelled out almost $50 to be here.
45.
Right, but maybe they tipped.
I don't think they did. No, people didn't really tip.
Okay, $45, which is pretty close to 50.
And this was like 10 years ago.
And maybe that was a lot of money. And yeah, and it's just like, right, why can't we refill this? And then just being like... Caddy, it's too bad because you're just doing your job.
I was a supervisor. I was the messenger.
Man.
But again, it was like 19-year-old me. So I was like, hey, I'm a goofy cool guy. Don't do that.
Oh man.
They also, I don't think they laughed at me. I think I was threatening.
Did you ever see them again?
No.
Did they meet you at your
The guy,
car?
he wasn't waiting for me in the parking lot because I didn't tell him when I got off work. Because I'm
My
smart.
God.
Never tell people when you get off work.
Oh,
Just across the board. I barely want to tell you when I get off.
This is stressing me out. Wow, Horton.
Well, not like that.
Anyway, what are we doing?
We're going to go to Budapest. Budapest. Buda. You're just kind of wide-eyed and staring at me.
It's Buda Sexy Pest.
Which I would love to talk about. Buda Sexy Pest. It was like a logo or some brand on a sweatshirt that we saw, and I did the monetary like conversion on that, and that sweatshirt was like $45.
That's a pizza party with 2 unrefillable pitchers of soda.
Yeah, if I spend that much on a sweatshirt, the person inside better be refillable. I want to go this week to one of my favorite cities that we went to in all of Europe. And I would like to say we went to a decent amount between Western and Central Europe. Let's go to Budapest, Hungary.
Sounds good. I love it.
Welcome to Exploragonians, a travel stories podcast.
I'm Katie.
I'm gonna get beat up in the Main Street Pizza parking lot later.
Wow.
Do you think he's still waiting for me somewhere?
What's your name?
My name's Jordan, and I'm here to party, Buda Sexy Pest style. So Budapest is the capital of Hungary, and Budapest has like a fifth of the population, like 1/5 of the entire population of Hungary resides within Budapest. So I think the population right now is like 1.7-ish million.
I'm curious if it's like Berlin, like just like a huge mix of people, or like, it's just pretty international, I would say. Or it felt that way, but I mean, that's based off of nothing. I mean, I don't know.
Nice.
I'm just basing it off the feeling.
Oh.
Or does everybody in Hungary want to live in Budapest because it's so cool?
It was very, very cool. Budapest was, I think, maybe one of the first cities to like drop the Iron Curtain, the like communist thing that prevented any like Western things from coming in. And so Budapest, I think, in like the early 90s, maybe late 80s, was like the first McDonald's opened within the Soviet Union. And I guess it was like a big deal, and there was like a line that went on forever when that opened.
Yeah.
And so you got to thank good old American capitalism defeating the commies.
God, the golden arches.
So-
Hey, McDonald's, you want to sponsor us?
Hey, Ronald, are you there? It's me, Virginia. Is there a Santa Claus? Is there a God? Are you God?
Are you going to make me fries later?
No.
Like a little sweet potato?
Are you asking Ronald?
No, I'm asking. Yeah. Are we role playing?
You will address me as Ronald.
I prefer Ronnie.
I don't know. Like Ronnie Chang. Ronnie Chang, use your platform.
Okay.
What are we doing? So Budapest historically was 2 cities.
Oh, yes. Buda and Pest.
Which is ridiculous. That would be like if Portland and Vancouver decided to like finally merge, like create what they were always meant to be.
Port Coover.
Port Coover. Vanland.
Yeah.
So the west side of the Danube, it'd be really great if we knew how to pronounce all these things. There's a really beautiful river that runs right through the heart of Budapest.
Yes.
And it separated these 2 cities. So on the west side was Buda, which is the much older side, and about a third of the landmass is on the Buda side. On the east side is Pest.
Which is where we were at.
That's where we stayed, but we crossed those bridges. I mean, Budapest had like Portland vibes where they had so many different bridges and different architectural styles for all those bridges. Like one, I was telling you that I thought it looked like a mini Brooklyn Bridge, like the Brooklyn Bridge, like shrank in the wash. And then one kind of looked like a mini St. John's Bridge.
Which is the bridge in Portland.
I'm only familiar with bridges in Portland and bridges in New York City.
That's okay.
It's a weird...
That's fine.
Anyway. So, yeah, they had all these different types of bridges, and they were all beautiful, because, like, one was, like, stonework, like masonry, and then one was, like, cast iron. I don't really know if it was cast iron.
This is it. We don't know the facts.
It was metal.
We
hard.
enjoyed it.
I loved it. It was beautiful, and the people were super nice.
I think it was very surprising. We were there, and I was taken back by how beautiful it was. And these extravagant buildings, I don't know. It was really nice. It was where I spent my birthday. We were there for my birthday. And yeah, it was a very pleasant birthday surprise of how cool and awesome and how much we loved it.
A Buddha birthday. Because we took a really long train ride from Prague to Budapest. And so we got in. Your birthday's on November 1st.
Whoa.
Happy Dia de los Muertos.
Fine, no secrets, I guess.
No, there's no secrets.
You want my social too?
Yeah, so it is. We got in on Halloween.
All Hallows Eve.
Wow. And I feel like there wasn't that much of like a Halloween presence, and that's okay. You know, I don't expect that in Central Europe.
I agree. I think that we have visited other countries during like holidays. And we're like, oh, like this isn't a thing. Like nothing's happening.
You mean spending Lunar New Year in Japan?
Well, I mean, that's an example.
They were kind of like,
Meh.
wow. So we did walk around this like thing of shops like when we first got there, and there was like, you know, there was like some bat motif going on. So I mean, unless Budapest is just really into bats. Oh,
Maybe.
Can you imagine the Budapest version of Batman?
Maybe it's already there.
How cool would that be?
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Budapest Batman. You thought Gotham was cool. Try Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
So something that we were very surprised about with Budapest was the presence of one type of establishment, bar.
We stumbled in, or did we know about it?
We
had heard of it.
We had heard about it. Our patron saint, Rick Steves, he had mentioned what this was, but nothing could prepare us for what a ruin bar was.
Yeah. You know, it was kind of like, oh, it's this funky little, ruin. So kind of like ruins.
Well, so I thought it meant just like it was trash.
I was going to say like a trashy bar.
Yeah, like a dive bar.
Right.
They're not.
It was not that, you guys.
It's apples and broomsticks. Like they're just like there's nothing. There's no connective tissue between them.
So it was kind of like going into an abandoned building.
Because they were abandoned buildings.
Because they were abandoned buildings. And then they, you know, kind of threw up some lights and we're like, oh, we're going to have like, I don't know, 8 disco balls up here. And we're just going to make it a party. And so then there was little kind of like mini bars.
Yeah, like little nooks throughout it.
Mm-hmm.
So the one we went to was called, I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly because Hungarian is a language that I'm not familiar with, but it was like Simplakert. Mm-hmm. And it opened in 2001. So it's the OG ruin bar that you and I stumbled into, unaware. Like we just knew that there was something there. The facade on the outside is like rundown, old, beautiful building. And so it might have just been because it was Halloween. I kind of also think maybe it was like a Saturday night or a Friday night.
I mean, I do think it was the weekend.
And I do think there was like a bouncer outside because we had to wait in line. I think he let you in because you're cute. And then I got to come in. I got to tag along.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But it was packed. Like there was so many people in there. Like it was like a rave bar party. I wrote down it felt like dystopian McMenamins.
I also got that vibe.
It originated because most of the ruin bars are in Budapest's old Jewish district, which after World War II were just kind of like left to decay and just rot away. And so there's all these like old abandoned buildings. Simplakert, the OG ruin bar, it's like in an old factory. And so what happens is like they find these old buildings, these old ruined buildings or shops or empty lots. And they're like, oh, you know what we could do here? We'll just rent this out, fill it with like flea market furniture, weird antiques we find laying around, and like you said, lights, a million disco balls. Like one had there's just like things on the ceiling, like guitars, whatever. One like, and this was like 4 stories tall, and there was like kind of an atrium, and so they had like netting down, but then over the netting between the floors, they had like a bunch of plants just kind of like hanging out.
It was a wonderful vibe.
Mad Max vibe. We were in Thunderdome.
It was wild. I just feel like we weren't prepared. We were like stumbling about, like, where are we? Kind of like this like wonderland and wonder dystopian. Yeah, rave.
Yeah.
It was a rave vibe.
Yeah, and everyone's just like drinking and walking around. I mean, it would be like if
it was casual. It wasn't like, I don't know. It was active cash.
We didn't get any drinks from any of these bars, mostly because I think we were overwhelmed by like what was happening, and it was just like so packed. And we're like, what are we doing in here? And I think also at Simplakert, they have like an old like communist type vehicle that they have like taken and turned into like seating and just all these like crazy things. And they get these artists to come in and they like paint the walls, graffiti things. And again, because it's in an old abandoned factory, there's just like holes in the walls and in the ceiling. And there's just like exposed pipe work. You were on a flight of stairs that didn't seem like they would be like something that you could do here in the US.
That's how I like it. Life on the edge. And
I had read that there's a handful of ruin bars. And each one has like a thing. Like one's thing is like, its furniture's on the ceiling. And another has like a whale on the inside. I don't know if it's like whale bones or like what's going on there.
Whale tail.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of thongs. It's the G-string ruin bar. One, I think, is more kind of like an underground like rave situation. But this one, I mean, it felt like we were transported a few hundred years into the future where, you know, society's collapsed and we've decided to like sell drinks or whatever. Oh, God.
I don't know. I think if you find yourself in Budapest, definitely go and experience a ruin bar. It was unlike anything we had experienced up to that point. And I mean, I would say it's just pretty unique and really interesting and I think inspiring.
I would like to see something like that in the States because, you know, you get some of these old abandoned, like these big box stores. And then once they're vacated, like, what do you do? Like, oftentimes it's like, oh, we're just going to like level that and we're going to put a different big box store here.
Totally. And I think that we've seen so much of that, like buildings that were fine and okay. And then, yeah, they're just like knocking them down because that big chain went out of business and they could have, or, you know, Spirit Halloween shows up for a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, I would, you know, post-pandemic, I think a lot of buildings in like downtown Portland have been vacated and it's all kind of like just a sad situation. And the times that we've gone to downtown Portland recently, it's just like kind of lifeless. Things are boarded up. Like, can you imagine if Oregon was like, you know what, this is a good idea. We're going to have ruin bars here.
I mean, even if they weren't even bars, I mean, it's like ruin laser tag. And like, I mean, I just imagine like all sorts of different things. Like it was a really... Like, I feel like there was like glow in the dark paint and like just I don't know.
There's a lot of neon colors. I think at some point there's like an outdoor theater. I think and there's like outdoor courtyards that you can go. And I mean the decor was just ridiculous.
You guys, it was so good.
And I think it was already pretty late when we went. And I think you and I could have stayed there a lot longer, but I think we wanted to kind of explore a little bit more of what Budapest had to offer.
Yeah. So I mean, we were in, we were out. If we go back, when we go back,
several ruin bars.
We're definitely going to go to the whale one. Got to see what's going on there.
The thong ruin bar.
No, the big blue.
And then near Zimplakert, there was like a little open air area where that's where they were selling Buda Sexy Pest, but they also had a bunch of like food carts. And so when we were there, you picked up apparently what's Budapest's most famous street food, which is langos. And it's a fry bread, which has toppings on it. I think we got traditional toppings of sour cream and cheese.
I was going to say, yeah, it was like cheese.
Dairy on dairy.
I don't like it.
I don't remember how you eat it, because I feel like it came out like fair food or something. Just like this huge plate of fry bread, sour cream, and cheese. Mm-hmm. And it was really tasty. I mean, it was savory. It was good. Not that nutritionally valuable.
But you know, at a certain point in the night, that's just what you want.
Yeah, especially stumbling out of a ruin bar, you're like, I need that! Give that to me!
It. Cream and cheese.
But we had like a nice dinner the first night we got there. You know, your pre-birthday dinner. But there was a group, and I want to say they were Danish. They had stumbled into this restaurant in Budapest, and it was just like this big bellowing man. And he sat down, and immediately the server came to like check on them. And he was like, please, my throat, it's so dry. I need beer now. Please, my throat, it's so dry.
And like went on, it was like this whole bit. And it was like, they got their drinks pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. They definitely got served way faster than we did.
I remember that.
Well, because you see this, like, I mean, he was like an older guy. I mean, he was, probably in his 60s or something. Mm-hmm. And so they bring this, like, big thing of beer out to him, takes this, like, huge, hearty swig and just goes, oh, thank you. And I love him. And now,
it felt like we were at that table.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they're definitely like kitty cornered us. But now every time if we go into a restaurant, I've never tried it, but I do kind of want to be like, please, my throat, bring me a beer. He didn't even like specify the beer. They just brought him beer, and he's like, cool, I got my beer. And we had told them it was your birthday, and then they had brought you out like a birthday tort, which is like, it was a really sweet looking tort they brought you, had a candle in it, and they put the candle in like a little like piece of tinfoil, shoved it in the tort. And then there was a piano player in this restaurant. And so he like played Happy Birthday to you as the candle was going. You made a wish, blew it out, and we all clapped for you.
I remember.
On your birthday eve.
It was so nice. I know. And then like the next day we had a piano player. Everyone was playing piano at all the restaurants we went to.
Well, I get that vibe from Budapest. It was like it had a lot of culture, a lot of love for the arts, because Budapest has like this big, amazing opera house. And I really wanted for us to go and like get a tour, go see a show, but it was being remodeled. And so we weren't able to do that. So we went to like, its second best opera house. It wasn't as cool.
Wow.
And we saw a really, really weird French ballet.
We didn't stay the whole time, right?
We definitely left during Act 2. We're like, we've got our money's worth.
Yeah, it's okay.
We were like, hey, do you guys do like rush tickets? Are these tickets discounted? And they were like, no. But you can move once the play starts. You can go to any empty seat you want. And the coat check girl, her like sister lived in Portland or something.
Yeah, I remember.
That was really... So the French ballet started, and it's a ballet, so there's no words. So thankfully, like, even though it was French by way of Hungary with a couple of Americans, like, I think we were still able to kind of understand the story. There was some significant clogging going on by like the mother character. But the ballet started with like a bunch of men, I'm assuming they're men, wearing like chicken and rooster costumes. Do you remember this?
I do.
Full grown.
I do think that we were like, what's going on? But
And it was maybe a love story.
Yeah.
And I just remember the Act 1 ended with like this goofy male love interest who was definitely not cool. I did not like this character. But like a big gust of wind like blows him away on an upturned umbrella, and it was very wicked to me. Like he definitely was suspended above the stage, and that was the end of Act 1.
I just think that we were like, oh, this is good. We're enjoying the arts. It's nice to support. But it was like, I think I've seen enough. We got our fix, and now we can keep exploring Budapest.
Because I think we did that on your birthday.
I think we did too.
Because something else that Budapest is known for is its like spas / bathhouses. I don't know. There was so much that Budapest was like known for.
But did you know? I mean, really, we just had Rick Steves' book, and like he was our little guardian angel, guiding us. And so, like the morning of my birthday, we went. Really, it was like where we were staying. We walked across the bridge, like right to the bathhouse.
But we went to maybe like the second or third best bathhouse. The best bathhouse. The best bathhouse in Budapest. Say that 5 times fast. So the best bathhouse in Budapest was apparently closer to where like the Parliament building was, which is this
Beautiful.
amazing piece of architecture. Like huge spires, domed buildings. It is extravagant. And it even looks better somehow at night. Like how the warm lighting kind of ignites it. So we didn't really quite get to that area, but across from the river on the Buda side was this old bathhouse. I guess it was like 450 years old that we probably just should have gone to, but it was a little bit further of a walk. Again, it was November in Central Europe, so it was pretty cold, but we opted for the one that was closer.
I think it's okay. We had a good time.
And I think like the bathhouse thing, I think I had read somewhere that maybe it started during like the Ottoman Empire. They were like, oh, we like bathhouses. Look at this warm water you could toil away in. So what do you remember about the bathhouse?
I remember, well, number one, I remember I did not have a swimsuit. So it was like, I had to get creative.
So why did I have bath? Because I had a
You had trunks. I didn't.
What'd you wear?
I wore some undergarments that I had.
Oh.
But reflecting on a picture, I was like, whose are those? Like that didn't. But yeah, I had some bright pink underwear that I wore. And
I love that you just wore your underwear to this bathhouse.
What was I supposed to wear?
Probably,
leggings.
I do think the Hungarians, I think they were a little modest. It was like, we couldn't go nude. What's up with that?
Right. Well, this is a bigger conversation.
Japan, we had to go nude.
I know. They were like, do not get in here with clothes.
Places in Oregon, you should probably have clothes on, but a lot of those hippies are going nude.
I would say even non-hippies.
Yeah, well, I mean, you and I went nude, but that was because it was my birthday. And I was like, birthday suit?
Were you like birthday suit?
No.
I was like, Jordan, birthday suit.
Okay, babe.
Watch
Check this, everybody. I'm that guy, apparently.
That's good.
So, yeah, so we had to have some sort of covering. You probably could have worn like a tank top, but instead went straight undergarment.
Yeah, it's fine. I had a bralette and some panties.
Also,
you
have more than one pair of like mystery undergarments where you're like, I don't know where this underwear came from, but I'm gonna wear it.
At this point, it's mine.
I would never wear underwear that I was even a little bit curious about its origins. Where did this come from? Why do I have this in my possession?
Well, maybe I knew and now I don't.
Whose underwear would you gladly wear?
I don't know that I think this is being presented in a different way. We're going to go back to the bathhouse.
Okay, cool.
So the bathhouse, I remember we walked in. We're like, this is what we want to do. We got some like day pass.
You think it was a day or do you think it was like a couple hours?
It might have been, yeah, by time. Like maybe we had like the morning to figure it out.
So definitely had like a bracelet on.
Mm-hmm. And so then we were able, I mean, how many different pools were there?
I don't know, but I feel like it just kept going on forever. Like the inside of this place, not the coolest bathhouse. It was like attached to a hotel, whatever. But they still had a lot of like really ornate decor in there, like these like load-bearing pillars. I don't know if they're load-bearing. These decorative pillars were like carved really neat. There was like all this cool tile work. And there was like, I don't know what it was, but it was like a picture. I feel like it was an angel kraken that they had made out of tile on the ground in this bathhouse.
Angel kraken?
Yeah, it looked half angel, half kraken.
Okay.
Which maybe it sounds kind of Lovecraftian the way I'm presenting it.
All right, moving on. So yeah, there was like big pools, there was saunas.
Oh, I found out we couldn't actually go in the normal pool because to swim in the pool you needed a swim cap. And I was like, we're not paying for a swim cap.
Okay, I do gotta remember that we didn't have access to everything.
Right. And I was like, okay, you want to put my hair there? I'm the hairiest thing you've ever seen. I can't, you're not gonna let me go without a swim cap? You have to put my whole body in a swim cap. So yeah, there was...
Okay, and this is why that guy's meeting you by the car.
Why? Because I'm hairy? Because I shed in his pizza?
Because you're like, hey, you want to put this in a swim cap? Confrontational.
I'll put my pizza in your swim cap.
All right.
Sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
So we went to we had to go to the outdoor pool. I don't know where this water was coming from. I don't know what the geothermic like activity is in Hungary.
I mean, I think it's best if we don't know.
So
keep it a secret.
Maybe they were keep it safe. So maybe they were getting it from a spring. Maybe they were just heating it up. But I do think it was hot water on the outside. There wasn't that many people in there. But yeah, on the inside, there was just like a bunch of different like rooms and like secret pools. Mm-hmm. There was this one area where it was like pools on either side, but maybe it told you like what temperature they were in Hungarian. I was like, well, I don't know what this means. And you get in and it's like searing hot.
Yeah. Because wasn't there like a pool on either end and then one in the middle? That you remember?
Right, but I kind of think the ones on either end were like, you had to go through like a hallway and they were like hanging out in the like the corner. It was like a corner pool. It was like the size of a hot tub, but it was like a little pool. Obviously not hot tubby. Hot tubby. Can I be your hot tubby?
Okay.
But the bigger one that was on the inside that did not require
the cap.
A cap. It was really warm. It wasn't like a pool. It was hot. And then they had these like really ornate like fountains with cherubs on it. And it kind of looked like surrounding the base was like, kind of like Greek, Roman god.
I also felt like it was kind of Greeky.
But on like the sides of their face, they were like trout coming down. Mm-hmm. And I think whatever minerals was in the water had like stained it or something. It was like this really...
Right.
It was pretty cool.
Okay, but then we went to the sauna, and it was thick.
The Finnish... Well, no, so we went to the Finnish sauna first.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, that's the one at the picture where you're laying in your underwear alone.
Oh, because I thought we did a couple saunas.
Yeah, so we went to the Finnish sauna first.
Okay, well, that was just classic sauna, I would say.
No. It was Finnish style. It was so hot.
It was hot.
It was so hot.
Jordan took a picture of me, and I was like, God, do I look swollen? Like, I feel like I was, like, plumped up.
You took in the water from the pools.
It's like my feet kind of looked balloony. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
We were brining you.
Maybe. Okay, so we did that. We got hot.
We were always hot. We got Buda Sexy Pest, I think is what you mean.
And then you went into the cold pool.
Yeah, which is it's the Finnish style. You get out and you're like, oh, look, this is ice cold. Let me jump in. And I tell you guys, like nothing, it shoots your soul out of your body. I think you temporarily die. And then you come back and you're like, get out of here.
I do think it kind of like knocked the wind out of you. Like it was like
Yeah.
you were, and I was like, I'm going to pass.
You didn't go.
Nope.
Maybe that would have been good for you.
It probably would have been.
I mean, we just got so sweaty from that Finnish sauna.
But then there was another pool like outside, and I think I went in there.
Yeah, And then the other room that you were talking about, the other sauna,
Yes.
like we had to like go through like a door. I mean, because so the Finnish sauna was outside and it was like, wood planked, whatever.
Yes. The other one was in by the like.
The secret pools.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we were supposed to be in that room. I don't think anybody else was in there, but
But we couldn't tell at first.
Why?
Because it was so thick of steam, and it was
the visibility was like 8 inches.
I mean, there was just nothing. It was like going into a really thick layer of fog.
Yeah, I felt like we were in a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
All the times in a cartoon that imagines what it's like to be in a cloud, it was like that. I was like, I couldn't see anything.
I feel like I couldn't see you.
Yeah,
It
and we
was
were
just-
sitting right next to each other. And then we found out there was like another woman in there, and we're like, good thing I didn't take my underwear off.
Yes, I think it got wild. And then you took a picture.
I took several selfies, and you can't even tell it's two humans, but it's a selfie of you and I, allegedly.
Well, true that. Maybe it was that gal.
Oh my. And there I am. I'm the cream filling. Yeah, I feel like I would be really interested to go try the 450-year-old bathhouse.
The number one.
Yeah, the number one.
I think it'd be great to go back and kind of check it out
I mean,
again.
we
there's
have-
just so many.
We have a friend who lives there.
We do.
I don't know if she'd like us to hang out with her, but
That's
Oh, well.
fine. It's never stopped us before.
so that was your start of your birthday, and then we walked back across our bridge, and then you had noticed that there was like this castle that was like built into the bank.
Yeah, just like to the side of the mountain.
Yeah,
It's like, what's going on here?
apparently it's a Catholic church,
Oh,
which of course it would
of
be.
course.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, the castle was carved into the face of this hillside.
I just feel like Budapest was so beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful and just unexpected surprises like that.
So when you say it's beautiful, like what beauty are you talking about?
Okay, like Catholic church built into the side, which doesn't sound great when I say it out loud,
I want
but
to be built into the side.
like looking at it, it was pretty, and like the Parliament building, the water, the bridge, the mood lighting at night. I think Budapest is like kind of rough, but kind of beautiful. I don't know. It was really doing it for me.
So Budapest, it shares a river with Vienna in Austria. And so those two cities are like pretty historically linked from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And when we went and visited our friend in Vienna, he was like, oh, he was German. He's like, oh, you went to Budapest? Oh, it's so ugly. It's like the ugly little sister. Why does it sound like Stefan?
I don't know.
He was basically saying that Budapest is like the ugly little sister of Vienna. And then we were like, because we had just been so moved by Budapest, it was like, how dare you?
Yeah, don't talk about Budapest that way.
Yeah.
Rat.
But I also think that Budapest was like pretty green. especially on like the Buda side, maybe more so. I mean, I do feel like there was like foliage, there was trees. It was so nice. And then I don't know if it's maybe a result of when this, like, most of Budapest was like erected, but I think a lot of the infrastructure is dating back to like the 1800s currently. And so on the Pest side, there's definitely more like old cobblestone stuff. I feel like a lot of the buildings have this like Gothic vibe to them. I think on the Buda side, we went to this, I kind of think it was like the Budapest like Museum of Art or something. I don't think we actually toured around, but we just like chilled around the building and like went through like the tunnels.
Sounds classic. There we are, chilling around the building.
Hey, I'm not going to pay admission, but I'll experience everything around here.
You know, we were on a budget, you guys.
But maybe that was like an Art Deco style. I mean, there's like a lot of different architectural styles happening in Budapest. But behind this museum thing was like an archaeological site or something.
But I don't know that we got the information. But yeah, maybe it was that they were... Or do you think it was active, or like that had happened?
It looked like the ruins are the foundation of some ancient building, because I think Budapest has been settled for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So there's like just a lot of inherent history because of that.
Yeah.
Which was represented at another spectacular building we went to, which is the Fisherman's Bastion. Again, on the Buda side, which is it's the castle side, I would say.
I would also say that.
It's the castle side. So Fisherman's Bastion has these like 7 gigantic turrets that they built. And each one of those 7, the 7 turrets represent like the 7 tribes that founded Hungary. Yeah. But
nice.
They also used it as like a lookout. You know, it was a castle. It was used for defense. Yeah. But it was really well maintained. I don't know if they've done any like restoration to it, but I mean, there's like these like beautiful spires. Just so gorgeous.
I know. I'm ready to go back. It sounds nice.
It does sound nice. So one of the things that I think really freaked me out about being in Budapest, being in Hungary, was knowing that like the further away we got from like Western Central Europe, the more we'd have to rely on not English.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember I took a bunch of screenshots of some common Hungarian phrases to use. And I feel like we tried to use it a little bit. And I think I probably just embarrassed myself, and whoever we were talking to was just like, you know what? I know enough English. We could probably get through this together. But one of them was like, Sia, which is spelled like S-Z-I-A. So you say Sia, and that means hi.
Mm-hmm.
There's QC, which is K. The O with like 2 little dots that make it look like a surprised face. If I was a better linguistic, or Harold Higgins. Harold Higgins?
No.
Huh.
Oh my God, what is his name? Poor Professor Higgins.
His first name's not Professor. Homer Higgins.
No.
Anyway, if I was a good linguistics professor, I could tell you what that letter is. But it was K, that letter, S-Z-I, Q-C, which means thanks.
Aww.
And then I don't know about this one, but I'd also taken one of this, and it basically meant like a kiss on the cheek was what it translated into. So it was like a departing greeting that you'd say to your friends, but it was pronounced pussy.
Henry
Higgins. I got Harold Hill and Henry Higgins mixed up because apparently Broadway was really fascinated with H alliteration names.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we did it.
I prefer his brother Homer Higgins. Anyway, did you catch that one? The kiss on the cheek was, yeah.
Yeah.
We never said that. I never said it once in Hungary.
I think that's fine.
What else did you really enjoy about Budapest?
Well, I enjoyed that we went to a really fancy restaurant, and
very unexpectedly,
like I feel like we were walking by and we're like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. And like we just like walked in and it was super extravagant looking. And then there was like 2 sides. There was the side that was serving like dessert. I think dessert only.
Maybe.
And then the other side that was like a restaurant.
And by restaurant, very intimate. Like there was probably like 5 tables on that side.
I was thinking 10, but yeah, it might have been.
Sure.
It could have been just
between those 2 numbers.
Between 5 and 10
so,
tables.
On average, about 7.
And then upstairs, there was a man playing piano. So
very,
pianist
very well.
who could apparently play anything.
Yeah, anything he requested, he'd play.
Yes.
Which we know because they asked us what we'd like to request, and he played it.
Yep, and they're like, he can play anything. So I was like, okay.
And again, we're like, even with a language barrier, we can do this? I mean, maybe he was American. We don't know.
We don't know. So
But-
we decided to do the fine dining.
We did fine dining, but the restaurant was called the New York Cafe, which
wasn't really selling it.
no, we're like, oh, that name, I want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But Google said it only has a 4.1 review, so I don't know what's going on there.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
You looked it up today?
Today
Currently has
current-
a 4.1?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But maybe they're not doing it from our side because what we did is, Jordan pulled a Jordan, so he's going to be as cheap as humanly possible. And I was like, can we share this 5-course, very fine dining meal with the wine pairing?
And it was like $250 or
USD, because the Hungarian exchange rate was bonkers crazy. And I'd like to talk about that in a minute. But right, it was $250 US.
I mean, it was not cheap. Like, we went over there. I just remember, like, they pulled out the chair that, pushed me in and, like, kind of flipped out the napkin and put it on my lap. I mean, it was very, like...
They kissed you on the cheek and gave you a back massage. I was like, whoa, guys.
I just remember it was exceptional. And
you had a really great view. I mean, you had, like, a kind of a straight shot into, like, the most beautiful part of that restaurant with, like, there was, like, murals on the ceiling. Like, it felt like we were in, like, St. Peter's Basilica or something.
yeah, I mean, it was extravagant, and it was a wonderful memory for me.
So it's been so long at this point. Do you remember any of the dishes that we got?
Oh, of course not. I think
One was like, I think it was like a pickled plum or something.
I do think it was very high-end, very interesting. I remember it was delicious. Like, I remember we really enjoyed everything that we ate.
And everything was like very well plated. And so like one of the dishes came out and had like all these like edible flowers on it, and it was arranged in like a really intricate pattern that also like the food that we were eating also kind of looked like a flower covered in flowers.
Yes. I mean, so taste, presentation, the whole thing. But for that price tag, you're like, this stuff better be over the top, and it was.
I feel like I felt like a child wearing like a big suit sometimes when we do things like that, where it's like, oh, hey, we're in a fine dining establishment, but maybe I can't afford it.
But it was great. And I think just one of those instances where we said yes instead of saying no, and it was rewarding. And I just remember we love hanging out with the staff, right? I just remember we really enjoyed all the different, like, our waiter and the servers.
But I think we also hung out with like the sommelier or something, because I think he was the one who was bringing out your wine tasting, because we sprung for the wine tasting, which paired every one of our dishes, which I think we had 5. I think and then like 3 desserts afterwards. He paired every single one with like a Hungarian wine and would explain everyone to you.
Yeah.
And I do think he was kind enough to bring me a little glass and be like, and you can have some too.
I know.
Who's a big boy?
I know. They were very sweet to us. And then I had my birthday bud at the table.
It was probably just one of those places that you probably only go to like celebrate an important occasion.
Right.
Because then they had just ready to go. They had a bunch of, I'm assuming, plates that said like happy birthday and like chocolate.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they had like tempered chocolate that wrote happy birthday and like really intricate script.
Oh, yeah.
And it was in English, so they knew.
They knew.
And then you also got it was like a meringue cloud of like 9 connected dollops of meringue with a little candle in it.
I know.
So nice. And then when we asked what did we ask the pianist to play?
I think like a couple of them. I think we did a Disney song.
Did we do Beauty and the Beast?
I thought Beauty and the Beast. And I was like, did we have him play Mirrors?
No. Well, you think? Maybe.
Oh,
because we also had him do My Fair Lady.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Homer Higgins. Homer Higgins on his Odyssey.
Yeah. My Fair Lady.
I think we had him play I Could Have Danced All Night.
I think that was also.
Is that your favorite My Fair Lady song? I don't think it is.
What do you think is?
Oh, probably with a little bit of luck. Well, a little bit of luck.
That is not my favorite.
Why not?
Thank you anyway.
Your favorite one? Probably when she's talking about how she's gonna murder Henry Higgins.
Not on the street where you live.
How does it go? Sing it to me.
No. Okay, let's move on.
So we're in the New York cafe, and then we befriend the hostess because I think she's just really taken by our crazy American energy. And I am still currently Facebook friends with this person.
Yeah.
That's nice. Could have probably interviewed her for this.
Probably.
But we didn't. So I want to talk about the currency in Hungary because I think out of all of the countries we've been to, it had like the most bonkers exchange rate because $1 US was like 300 Hungarian forints or something when we were there. And so we were just walking around with these like 10,000 bills, just these like crazy denominations on them. And it was like so funny to like pull out this currency and be like, ooh, 10,000.
That'll be 10,000.
You're like, okay, I'll do that. But yeah, when you're dealing with like that number, like it becomes pretty difficult to like do that conversion in your head of like, oh God, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Because like a lot of places we went to, like I think I was able to do that conversion pretty easily because it reminded me of Thailand. I just was like tacking on an extra $1 or an extra zero.
Yeah.
Because Thailand at the time, it was like $1 was like 30 baht. And so I was like, okay, easy. $1, 300 forints.
So how much was our meal at the cafe?
Well, let's do some math. So if we do... I went off of a couple different exchange rates because when we were there, a dollar fetched you about 300 Hungarians, but now you get about 360.
Oh, great.
So let's see. If we pay $250, okay, you guys at home, play along. What's it gonna be? So if I do 250 times 300, it was about a $75,000 meal.
It felt like it.
It definitely felt like a $75,000 meal. Would you say it was the most fine dining you've ever had in your life?
I think so. And I think that we've eaten at some pretty fancy places. And yeah, I think the fanciest one was in Budapest, Hungary.
On your birthday.
On my birthday.
So overall, I feel like even though we were in Budapest for just a couple days, really, I think we did make the most of it. Even if we just kind of stuck around the banks of the Danube and kind of wandered close to where we were staying. But I feel like we came really close to having like a really cool wine experience in Budapest. Because we heard about this like cave where they aged the wines in, kind of like cave cheese. I had a professor once that did cave cheese.
That sounds gross.
Yeah.
Just like that cave cheese. It's like, I just bring up, I don't know, head cheese, toe cheese.
Toe cheese? She got that toe. That girl's got that toe cheese.
Okay. Cave wine.
So I had cave wine, and I think it had like a very intimate setting. Like,
well, we had to find it. Don't you remember that?
We were like a scavenger hunt in Budapest.
Like walking, we're like, I don't know, I think it's over here. And we're like, is it in these bushes? Like, and eventually we went down like a bunch of stairs, and it's like, it was like being like an old castle, right? There's like the candles that are lit, like the wax is pouring down. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but lo and behold, it was like attached to a Hilton hotel.
There we go.
And I think that's what killed it for us. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah, so then we went down, and I think they did have like a waiting list. Like it was going to be a lot later before we could get in, so we decided.
And it was already getting dark.
We had other fish to fry.
And then I remember like we left and we went to like the Fisherman's Bastion, and just we had such a great view of the city from where we were at, and just seeing how everything was like being illuminated and coming to life in that way at night. God, it was beautiful. I mean, just kind of like that warm light. I felt like we were being transported in time.
I agree.
All the bridges were lit and they were spectacular. The Parliament building was lit, looking amazing. There were just like things on hills, like castles on hills that were just like lit up, and it was like, that looks like it's something that's cool and important.
Yeah.
And you just see all these like magnificent domes, these spires. I feel like traditional Hungarian design wasn't quite dome. Like it was definitely kind of cone. It was like cone.
Dome or cone?
Dome or cone. Well, I feel like we're rocking a lot of cone domes. That sounds like condom.
Wow.
my fisherman's cap.
I do feel like some of them were not like Russia-esque, but
You're getting that like communist vibe in there.
there was a
But
little of that.
It was the cones.
Okay. Well,
It's all about the cones. The cones of Dunshire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, please tell me, what are some just like highest highs that you had in Budapest, if you were to boil it down? Distill it for me.
Eggs Benedict, quality coffee. Of course, we found a nice coffee shop. I know you were concerned.
Which was like right across the street from the rental we were staying at. Should have booked a B&B or a hotel, but we went with the rental.
I know, we had a weird experience because that's how we do.
It was like, oh, also remember to give me all of your passport information before you go. And it's like, no, bye.
Yeah, there were some other things to talk about, but I don't want to talk about that.
But you had the eggs Benny, and it was your birthday, and so it usually came with 2, but because it was your birthday, they gave you 3.
They were so nice to us.
Yeah.
So you want top memories?
No, just like top things that you experienced in Budapest, like off the top of your head.
I mean, I feel like we have touched on them. For me, it was walking over the bridge, like being in like awe of the beauty that I felt was just like surrounding Budapest, the ruined bars, and the baths, and definitely that nighttime mood lighting was just so, yeah, it's just breathtaking. You know, I love mood lighting. What can I say?
Did you feel like safe and comfortable the whole time we were in Budapest?
I did, but I think that's just how I roll.
At no point where you're like, oh, like we're getting kind of like far away from like.
I could choose to feel unsafe anywhere, but I try to be aware of my surroundings, and you know, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily feel any more or less safe anywhere.
I mean, I feel like I felt a little nervous getting into Budapest, being like, ooh, I don't know. This seems like a pretty foreign place we're going to. You're getting pretty close to, like, the commies. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I had, like, a little, like, feeling of, like, dread when we first pulled in. I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. But it was awesome. It was great.
Yeah. I just think that's, like, one of my favorite things about travel. Or just doing anything that kind of scares you a little bit, and you're like, oh yeah, maybe I'm uneasy. I'm just happy we went, and it was, I think I've said this the entire time, it exceeded my expectations, and I am excited to go back one day. Oh, and we found out about Hungary and their export of paprika.
Yeah, I guess that's like their thing. It's paprika. Like that's like the home base for it. Because I think of like, is it goulash? I think that's like a heavy paprika dish. But yeah, we went to the like a Central Hall Market or something is what it was called. It was like right next door to where we were staying. And it's like this big, I don't know, like not flea market, but just like this big like kind of open air inside a building
market that was selling
anything.
Meats.
Veggies. There was
paprika.
one stand was just doing all different types of paprika. I think one was like paprika paste.
Yeah.
They're all about those red peppers.
And I just feel like even like paprika decor, like they had like the peppers hanging down, and I know, it was good.
I don't think we bought enough paprika though.
I think that's also true.
We bought a little bit and then we shipped it.
We bought 2 little containers.
They're like not that little.
They aren't that big. Like
I
2
know.
small salt and pepper shakers.
If only there was a Costco in Budapest. We could have got
Maybe
Costco.
there is.
Maybe there should be.
Hey, Costco.
Do you want to do a big Costco-sized sponsorship? Maybe you could comp our membership.
All right. So what about you? Memories?
I mean, obviously we covered it. I mean, the Ruin Bar was ridiculous, and I'd like to experience more of them, especially like understanding. And I don't think we quite understood this when we were there, that a lot of these buildings were in the Jewish district, because there was like some Holocaust memorials that we went by. One was like this really kind of somber, beautiful memorial type lit thing, and so every light represented like a home or an amount of people that was displaced or killed.
Right. And see, and I think when we saw that, we were like, oh, like this is nice that they're, have some recognition here, not understanding that, yeah, we were in like a Jewish district.
Yeah, and World War II would make it so a lot of those buildings would be emptied.
Yeah.
Which is really... So just understanding that is really good, and just, kind of understanding the origins of anything that you're taking advantage of. Mm-hmm. And yeah, doing the bathhouse was really fun, really hot.
So hot.
And I also enjoyed learning that it was Buda and Pest. Like, there's two of them. Enjoyed a cone dome. The architecture blew me away. Yeah, it was just a really nice, really wonderful city.
Okay, regrets or things you want to do next time?
I obviously would have loved to have gone to the Parliament building. I did not touch the Danube, but I would like to do that.
Oh.
And I go touch the river. I don't know. Is it a clean river? Is it an unclean river? On a scale of 1 to Willamette, where are we at?
Clean.
Good. Drink it all. Wanted to do that. I think exploring more of the Buda side and all those castles, taking more time for that. There's an area in Budapest that has a bunch of old, communist statues that they have just, placed in one area. And so I think going and seeing that would be interesting. Not to, pay tribute to the commies, but to go see.
Learn.
To learn. I'd like to do that the next time we go. And probably enjoy more food.
Yeah.
What Hungary has to offer.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you want to do next time?
I think spend more time there and explore more. I mean, basically what you said. I mean, yeah, even just going back and, obviously going to the number 1 bathhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 2. And, maybe having cave wine. I don't know.
Wow.
I was like, are we going to stay at the Hilton? I'm like, they probably got a pretty good view.
I'm curious about the Hungarian wine, if it's still kind of a low-key thing, or if it is actually of a certain quality.
I feel like we really enjoyed it in that moment.
Right.
So, time to go back. Can't wait.
Oh, Buda Sexy Pest.
I know.
You were good to us.
You were.
Happy belated birthday.
Thanks.
So, Katie, next week is a Hallmark holiday.
It's what I've heard.
Hey, Hallmark, you want to sponsor us?
Wow.
We'll tell you all about the cards.
We should just have a podcast where we read Hallmark cards to my son on his birthday.
Aw. So, okay. Next week, let's go to the most romantic place there is.
Tillamook, Oregon.
Close.
Oh, America Samoa.
So close.
Okay, give it to me.
Let's go to Pacific City, Oregon.
Ooh. See, I do have some romantic-y memories or things associated with Pacific City, so I'm happy to discuss them with you.
Great. Can't wait.
I also can't wait. So,
See you then.
I guess we're going to see you guys on Valentine's Day. So,
let me tell you a Valentine's story. It is about two people in love. They love, moi, moi, moi. See you next week. Subscribe and review our podcast.
And that was from Hubert Higgins.
That was from Homer Higgins.
Homer.
Homer.
Potato.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Okay, describe the potato further.
Brown. It has eyes and rosy cheeks, and is that a tongue sticking out, or is just his mouth's open?
One of those two.
The potato mouth is open.
It's a plushie, but it's also probably 250% the size of a normal potato.
Totally.
It's a big potato. It's supposed to be.
It's a baker.
Should we put it in the oven right now?